I spent years of my career working some of the hottest lines all over the country, making some of the most popular pasta dishes of their era. And today, I'm gonna show you how to make better box macaroni. Cooking and canning with my grandma Clara at her little house in Rural City are some of the best memories I have. And now, I'm on a mission to preserve local food systems and traditions. By combining my lifetime of professional culinary and farming experience with generations of knowledge to bring you a fountain of skills and recipes to sustain and pass down. We're getting to the very bottom of food from the ground up, so I hope you'll join us. To start, we're just gonna boil the pasta as per box directions or to your own personal preferences. I like to go on the al dente side or less cooked. This method works with any box macaroni, no matter the brand, as long as it comes with dry pasta and a powder sauce packet. This is personal preference, but I like to salt the water, not a lot, but just a little bit. I know not everyone out there enjoys box macaroni, but for some of us, it's how we're getting by. And if you're gonna eat it, you might as well make it the best you possibly can. That looks perfectly al dente to me. Just before draining your pasta, go ahead and reserve 2 ounces or 1/4 cup of the pasta water. We're just gonna go ahead and drain the pasta water. If you're doing this at home, obviously do this over your sink, but this is TV magic. Now that our pasta is drained, we have our pot over medium, low, or low heat. We're going to add 2.5 ounces or 1/3 of a cup heavy cream. And we're gonna let that come to a little happy bubble. So turn your heat up until you get a little bit of bubbling to evaporate some of that liquid out of there and thicken the cream. And I'm just keeping the pasta moving while we're making the sauce so that it doesn't stick in one huge clump. All right. We've got some good happy bubbling going on in there. Now it's time for the cheese. Whisk, cheese powder. All right, I'm gonna turn this heat down. That looks good to me. And now in with the pasta. You too. Okay, now we're stirring and it looks just a tiny bit dry, and that's exactly where this pasta water comes in. You just want to add it a splash at a time and give it a really good stir in between. We are working the starches in with the fats and the liquids to create a gorgeous emulsion. Boop, boop, boop. And if it looks a little loose, you want to let that stay on the heat without adding anything and just giving it a good stir. This is looking pretty good, and because we left our noodles a little al dente, we're finishing the cook in the sauce. So they're actually going to be absorbing some of this flavor. It's not just going to be bouncing around on the outside of the pasta. All of you out of my way. Stop getting into my creative space. This is looking really good to me. It's glossy, it's saucy, and you know, to be honest, I don't know that anyone would suspect that came from a packet, save for the color and the shape of the noodle. Okay, let's get a good look at that. You ain't never seen no velvet cheese sauce on box macaroni like this before. My son, you know, he goes through his phases. I've made a fair amount of these box macaronis in my day, and he's very particular about the sauce. And I was looking at the ingredients and I thought, it calls for butter and it calls for milk. Why not just put heavy cream? So I tried that and I did a little of my professional pasta magic and I came up with this, and I gotta say, I think it's pretty dang good. Let's go ahead and give this mac a try. Delightful. And you know, you could shake a stick at this pasta, but it was made with love in a professional technique. And if any of you guys out there are like me, growing up, If we didn't have boxed macaroni, there were days we wouldn't have eaten. So, speaking of which, I haven't had lunch today, so I'm just gonna go ahead and... What was that, Greta? You want them to like and subscribe?